A very good morning to all of you. I am Dr. Shilpa Jejurkar, and I am an international educator, a global speaker, and I speak on various topics, including skill education, international education, parenting skills, and to name a few of them. And then obviously, I am also an academician, so I also have a lot of training sessions conducted for my teachers and learners across the country. So today's topic on what I'm going to talk is all about skill education. Because if you see the last 2.5 years, we had gone through a lot. The pandemic has taught us everything in a hard way. Where we saw that where one side where knowledge is very important and essential, where I think our country is the best, one of the best country where we are giving knowledge oriented courses, lots of things to our children, but somewhere we also lacked in skills, because knowledge alone will not help you survive. To survive in the society or in the community by large, you also need to learn some skills. So here we understood that skill is very important. So just knowledge oriented courses or bookish knowledge is not going to help you survive. So how to develop this internal survival skills, or maybe some type of skill where the child or where anyone, anyone of us can be independent soon. So then, when if we compare, India along with other countries, we have just 2% of our population which has some of the other skills. They know some skills. Whereas if you compare ourselves with South Korea or even China, there are more than 64% of their population which has skill education. They learn some skill. I am not saying that India did not work towards skill development. We had NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation, and many other small organizations which were helping people to learn skills. But somewhere we, as a parent, there is a mental block in the parent of India, that we should always be knowledge oriented. We should learn only, go for engineering, go for medical, go for architecture or some other only these areas, instead of going towards skill education. If you compare where knowledge is helping us to earn money, that is skill also which is going to help us earn money. For example, the best example is of Javed Habib. What he does is he's a skill. He has a very good skill of cutting hair, and now if you see, he's a very successful entrepreneur, having a chain of salons across India and earning a lot of money. And also employability is also that he is employing people under him. So basically, it's not that every child will learn mathematics, science, English. There will be some percentage of children who don't want to study this, but they can do something else and still make out something of their life. And I feel skill education, along with the core curriculum, whatever we have in our country, we can also have a skill curriculum also parallelly. And if you see the national education policy, the new education policy which is framed now, the NEP 2020, has given a lot of weightage towards skill education. So then what is the problem? Why still we are not ready to implement the skill education in the school? It is all because there is a mental block in our parents' mind. Because parents always think that my child should become a graduate, then postgraduate, then go for competitive exams, become something in their life, go for IAS, go for civil services, but they are not thinking in the line of making your child an entrepreneur. Now, when will a child become an entrepreneur? When you will give him skill education. For example, if you go to China, you will see a small child of age 4, 5 also doing something, doing assembling. They assemble a lot of computer parts, television parts, mobile parts at home. And children at age, a very young child of 4 years, 5 years can be seen doing some assembling of mobile parts, and also helping the family to earn along with the core curriculum. So why don't we also have such type of skill education? For example, cooking is also an important skill, where we saw in this last 2.5 years where our children are stuck somewhere for studies and all. They were in hostels, they were not able to cook, they were not even able to go out because of the lockdown. So I think cooking is also a very good skill, where we should start teaching the basic skill of cooking. At least survival cooking skill should be taught to every child. Secondly, we have very good skills in our country like carpentry. We have unique carpentry in our country, which is well known across the globe, where people, we huge demand for such products. But then if you see, the people doing this carpentry is now, the number of the people doing this is reduced. Why? Because the next generation is not interested in doing all such things. Whereas these courses, this skill is going to help them survive. So carpentry is there. We can have, bakery is a very good skill. We have seen in the online, in the pandemic, many people turn towards cooking. They had the cooking instinct in them, but then because of some job, because of the job, they were not able to cook. But now, because of the pandemic, they learned that cooking will also help them earn money. So that is, importance of skill education. Secondly, I feel we should also involve them in such skills which are now going out of the mainstream. I'll give you an example. In one of the talks by Mr. Adar Punawala, he has a very good stud farm, and there are lots of horses in his stud farm. So there is a skill for, fitting the horseshoe to the horses. And this particular skill, he said he had only one person who was doing this fitting of horseshoe to the horses, and he was ready to pay to the tune of 10,000 to 20,000 per horse to the person who is able to fit the horseshoe to the horse. But then there was only one guy, and that guy was also pretty old. So there, other Punawala suggested that we should teach such skills also to the generation, to the coming generation, so that, because see, this is also a very good opportunity to earn. Plus, it's a very good skill. So there was no one to learn the skill from that man. So then, other Punawala had to incentivize people to learn the skill of fitting horseshoes. So such type of skills are not going away from our society. Where I think we should bring them back to back in the mainstream. We should teach the children. We should train them, towards the skill development along with IT, because IT is where we were concentrating a lot. We had lots of courses where we had IT, then we had diplomas for fitter, electricity, plumbing, and all. But along with that, we also need to teach them some other skills. Agriculture, gardening is also a very good skill. We saw a lot of organic farming happened in the lockdown. People were able to sell vegetables and fruits which were grown organically. So why not teach agriculture? No, why not teach farming, gardening as a skill in the school? So skill education starts from your own house, your school also. So I think the message what I want to give today to the parents is, along with the hardcore studies, the curriculum, also go towards skill education. Try to find out the potential in your child. What potential does he have, or he or she has? If the child has an inclination towards music, don't stop the child from learning music, because it's general tendency in a parent's mind that no, music and dance is not meant for you. It's not your. It's not going to earn, a new money. But it's not like that. The NEP also says that you can have multiple subjects learning. We can learn multiple subjects at a time. Where a child can do minor in music and major in artificial intelligence. He can do minor in dance and major in some other subject. So minor and major, so dual degrees are introduced now because of the new education policy. Many avenues are being opened by for the children. If a very good example is of Chetan Bhagat. He is an IIM graduate. Very good in academics and all. But then he got his calling in writing books and novels. And we know Chetan Bhagat because he is a good writer. So writing is also a skill. So where in the hardcore curriculum, we don't have somewhere, we don't give more emphasis towards creative writing, or towards developing the writing skills of the children, because we have a curriculum to follow. But why not introduce creative writing in the school? Why not join some creative writing short-term courses where the child learns to write, learns new words, learns vocabulary? Maybe, we can get good authors in our children somewhere. So I am very, very, I just want to introduce more of skill learning in the schools, and less of your curriculum. Anyhow, the child is going to learn. But apart from the curriculum, we should also target the skill subjects. And in skill subjects, I don't want to mention only about computing skills, or only about the skills which are like very well known, like artificial intelligence, coding. This is all what is happening nowadays. But what about even giving beauty parlor courses to children, your secretarial courses to the children, gardening courses to the children? Then we can also have a basic skill of maintenance skill of a infrastructure. Service industry is going to require lots of people now, because if you see, it's more of 90% of the GDP is it comes from the service sector. But people don't want to go towards service sector. They want to go towards only white collar jobs. But service sector is also the industry which is going to give us everyone is going to get employment because of the service industry. So why not stitch them something which will help them to serve people? Because if you see, Switzerland has grown like anything, all because of service industry. Switzerland is known for a wonderful service industry. They have good hotels and they have good everything is so well handled, right from your hotel industry plus your airfare, your everything. Everywhere if you see, there is a service industry everywhere. The moment you step in somewhere, you need service, you need humans to serve you. So service industry is also a very good industry where we need to train the children for also coming to this service industry apart from only the white collar job. So I feel parents somewhere need to be very sensitive about all such things. They should guide their children properly. Yes, for the curriculum oriented courses also, and apart from that, try to teach at least one or two skills per year to their child. We should involve such skill oriented curriculums in the school academic entire curriculum also. So now CBSE is the main board in our country, Central Board of Secondary Education. They've started giving us lots of skill-oriented courses like financial literacy. They are giving us banking and insurance. They're giving us entrepreneurial skills development. They're giving us employability skills development, multi-core, multifunctional skills to be developed in the children. So lots of courses are being introduced by CBSE, looking at the needs of our future generation. Because right now what we are going towards is we are going towards globalization. And if you see globalization, India is going to be the youngest nation by 2030. So somewhere the entire world is looking at the workforce which India is going to give them. So the largest human resource right now in the in the age group of 20 to 50 is in India. So by 2030, entire world is going to have a grand welcome to our children. So if we are going to give them skill education, they will be able to meet the needs of the other countries. So why is our prime minister going across nations and finding out what are their challenges and how can we try to solve those challenges? He's going to Israel, he's going to US, he's going to Japan, everywhere, just to find out what are the needs of those countries and in what way can our human resource be helpful to them. And the children in our country are the very best human resource. And why don't we empower them by giving proper skill education so that they survive in those countries too? Now, because India cannot give all employment opportunities to the population which we have here. So then we need to keep our doors open. We need to keep our minds open for opportunities abroad. So we cannot just say that no, my child is going to work only in this country. We have the entire whole globe open for our children for opportunities. So if you want your child to face the opportunities abroad, then the right way is to give them proper skills along with your hardcore curriculum. So that is the message for parents all over the country today from me, that try to develop skills in them, try to give them skill education in which they have an interest. Maybe your child is more interested towards gardening, don't stop him from going for gardening. Let him learn gardening. If the child is good in cricket, sports, let him do sports along with your academics. If the child is very good in cooking, he has the culinary skills, let him cook along with your studies. If the child is good in music, if he's playing instruments, let him play instruments along with the studies. So don't stop your child. So try to balance your child properly, the curriculum and your skills, both together, and give equal importance to both. Along with the curriculum, you also have to give importance to the skill education. So if you do that, I think the child will be empowered, the child will be independent soon. And along with that, financial literacy also is very, very important, because our children lack those skills. Our children are not able to walk in a bank and maybe just fill a check himself, or deposit some money or withdraw some money. They are not able to do that. So we need to teach them financial literacy from the age of 12, 13 only. Whereas if you compare our children with US, in US, a child as young as 8 years old starts investing in mutual funds and stock and share. Whereas here, a grown adult also refrains from investing in the stock and share market. So somewhere it's because we as a parent are scared. We as an adult are also scared of getting into financial domain. But I think that is what we are lacking. We need to give our children the knowledge about financial literacy. What exactly money is, how does it work, how can money work for you, what are loans, everything. Everything should be taught to our children. We should empower them financially too, so that sometimes it is like a grown up adult earns money. He's doing a job, and he gets money, but he doesn't know where to save the money. How to save the money, how can I invest it, reinvest it, and gain more, gain profit from my funds. So this all type of knowledge should be given to the students from the young age, so that they grow in that mindset, and be successful in their life. So as a academician and as an international educator, I would like to suggest all the parents that from today, involve your children into skill education. Teach them some skill. First thing is, you need to find the potential what your child has. What apart from academics the child can do. Is the child good in music? Is the child good in art? Is the child very good in minute creative skills? Just find out what art or what type of skill the child can be taught along with the core academics. And I think once you balance both, your child is going to come out with flying colors. They will be independent very soon. They will learn to be an entrepreneur. They will employ people under them. And that is what we require. We don't require people who are doing jobs. We require people who will be creating jobs more. So the current generation, the young citizens of our country are the ones whom everyone is looking forward as an entrepreneur. The entire world is looking at them, for everything. They have lots of challenges to face in their coming years, and they need to go to maybe any country, and if they have skills and if they have good knowledge, they will be just picked up. They'll be picked up by any country, and they will be financially very, very stable. So all the mothers and fathers, especially the mothers, may try to make their children innovators and thinkers, because normally what we do is we just cater to the questions which are like why, what, how, when. We don't encourage the children to ask a question like why not, why only this and why not this. So when the child comes up with the question of why not, it is the parent and the teachers who should imbibe those inquisitiveness in the children. Because normally what we do is we are very busy in our life, and then we, even if the child is inquisitive, we tell the child, no, don't ask such silly questions to me. Whereas what we need to do is we need to give him the right resource. Okay, you have such questions, take this as a resource, go through this, or just find out, read here, you will get an answer. So that is what we need to do. Just give a little bit of quality time to your child, and just find out in which direction your child is going, in which direction the child wants to think. Because of a long time has gone where we have not got any innovators, no scientists, no innovators from India. And this is the right time where we need to give innovators, thinkers to our country. And
thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Shilpa Jejurkar. Like, we have some questions lined up. It was a very informative session. You told us about the importance of skill-based education. So here are some questions, ma'am. Please tell us why these topics are of importance for you.
Yeah. Ma'am, as I told you, our country is going to be the youngest nation in the whole world by 2030. And what exactly are we giving our children? That is my question. Along with academics, what extra are we giving them? Because they need to survive in the in the global world. We need to meet the demands of all other countries. So what are we Are we thinking from that direction? So that is what made me think about skill education, along with academics. So that is the reason I chose this topic today. That instead of only concentrating on academics and the core curriculum, also give them an exposure towards the skills.
Right. So what are some ideas you have for improving teaching skills among the staff, ma'am?
Yeah. To improve the teaching skills, I think the teacher should be constantly updated, because our children have a lot of knowledge in their hands nowadays. Google is there at their service. So many other apps available where they can gain knowledge. But then why should they go to the teacher? Why should they come and ask a question to the teacher if they're getting all the answers on their own? So a teacher needs to constantly upgrade herself and himself. Teacher needs to find out what other countries are doing, what are the strategies they are using, what is happening in other nations. We need to keep our children also updated, and they should not be out. They should not feel themselves as they are outdated. So to keep them updated, it is a teacher who needs to be updated first. So she has to constantly keep herself occupied, or empowered by the education abroad. What is going on in other countries. She needs to learn those techniques, those strategies, and try to implement those strategies in the school, so that she gets a proper hold on her students.
Sure. So as the head of a CBSE school, what are your main concerns these days?
Yeah, the main concern is about the new education policy which has come up now, and we'll be implementing it soon, in full-fledgedly implementing it soon, where we'll be also giving importance to regional languages along with the core curriculum and skill education. As I told you, CBS has already introduced plethora of activities and skill education, where we will be taking children from the rote learning to application oriented learning, that is experiential learning, where the children will be doing lots of hands-on activity, because that is where somewhere we are lacking. Our children are very good at they know everything, they know the concept, but they don't know how to apply them. And then communication is where I think our children are still lagging. So we should work more on the communication skill development.
Okay. So how do you compare CBSE schools with IB and Cambridge board schools these days?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I just suggested, that we need innovators now. Now CBSE has started working towards those guidelines, but what IB and IGCSE does differently is creating innovation. So how do they create innovation? Is because they have lot of project-oriented learning. So there is different methodologies of learning. They have inquiry-based learning, they have inquiry-based learning, they have project-based learning, they have activity-oriented learning. So it is not only learning and a pen paper test. It is lots of hands-on activities. They create projects. They think over. Design thinking is what we are looking into nowadays. We want to give a problem to the child, to the students, and they need to develop a solution for those. So that is what IB agencies are already doing. So design thinking is a process which I think we as a CBSE and ICSE schools in India should also start following. We should make thinkers out of it. We should give them some problems and let them think over it.
Right. So in your career, ma'am, what have been some of the biggest challenges you have faced as a school head?
Lots of challenges. First, the challenge what I felt is in the minds of the teachers, because teachers don't want to change themselves. Because I always want to tell teachers across the country that we should keep changing. Need to keep changing your strategies. You need to constantly update yourself. You don't feel that I'm teaching from last 15 years, so I'm a master in my subject. No, you need to add on to the knowledge. So that is one mental block again in the teacher's mind, that if I'm teaching a subject for so many years, I have become a master. No, you need to constantly upgrade yourself. Second challenge is with the parents, because parents feel there are only 2 to 3 avenues for their child. They just want to make their child a doctor, engineer, or maybe a white collar job. So there are also so many other things that the child can do. And why do you want to pressurize your child for studying NEET, your engineering or something, very core subject? And I have seen parents literally crying when they see their child not performing. So why to pressurize your child? Try to find out the true potential in your child and accordingly guide your child. The child should be happy, because that is very, very important. If I'm doing something, if I'm learning something, if I want to pursue a profession, I should be happy in that profession. Whereas if you see in the happiness quotient, India is far behind. And there are so many other small countries which are much ahead than us. So creating happiness is very, very important.
Okay. So, ma'am, with your vast experience in this field, for a young person wanting to join teaching profession, what advice you can provide?
I will suggest to come to teaching profession only if you really want to, if you are really passionate about teaching, if you are really passionate about training. So teaching and training should be your choice, not by chance. It should be a profession by choice. I choose to be a teacher. If you have such type of passion, then only you come to teaching. Because right now it's earlier it was like teaching is just a part-time job, but no, teaching is not a part-time job. It's a full-time commitment. It is a full-time devotion. If you want to devote everything, your time, your your emotions, everything to the human resource, then only you have to come to teaching. Otherwise, there are so many other occasions, vocations available. So be passionate towards your profession.
Right, ma'am. As you said, like it's not a part-time job. I rather say that it's more than a full-time job. So,
Yes.
the other question goes like this, ma'am. How do you see school education evolving in the years ahead?
Yeah, now we have a very good chance because the new education policy, which is being framed, has a very good structure. Now we need to just see that we are implementing it properly. Otherwise, it has all the good positive points, which I think many years we were just struggling. In last 24 years, we did not change our curriculum and the education policies. But now we have a very good chance. We are always already looking forward to Finland education system. We are looking toward the Japanese education system, how they are making their students independent at a very early age. So we have tried to take the best parts of all this type of curriculums across, Finland, Japan, even US, UK also, and we have brought them together in our new education policy. Hopefully, the new education policy is going to help our children grow very well.
Okay, ma'am. You mentioned that like you need to choose to be in the profession.
Yes.
And you need to be passionate. So do you
Yeah.
think finding good teachers is a challenge these days?
Yes, it's a challenge. It's a challenge because, as I told you, if you're coming here by chance because I couldn't do anything, I'll teach. No, that is wrong. Then you will never become a good teacher. It's like someone has forced you to teach. But if you have come as a choice, if you are passionate about teaching, then yes, then you will come. You will also learn. You will also grow. You will also meet the challenges in this sector, and you will also help the children to go, learn properly and do become a happy citizen.
Okay, coming to the staff's ability, ma'am, how do you approach teacher evaluations? Do you find teacher evaluation effective?
Somewhere it is effective, but then I don't believe in constant vigilation on the teachers. But yes, we can observe the needs, the training needs in the teacher. I cannot say that the teacher is a poor teacher or a bad teacher. If someone has come with that mindset that I want to teach, then we can work on those teachers. We need to just find out what are the training needs the teacher requires. Train the teacher, and then you'll get good results. So training is very, very important. Observation is important. Evaluation is important, but not constant evaluation. But yes, we give them a training, see their performance, then again give them a training. So that is what I believe.
Right. So that was the end of the question answer round, ma'am. School Journal of Education and Schoolrefomer.com. Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. We also thank the audience for participating in the event. We will end the session now, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.